Donald J. Trump as the President of United States, but you did not imagine that a businessman will get elected as a president. Congratulations to all the American people, you have a new president. I've been saying this for some time that the next decade, the most important leadership on the planet will be business leadership.
If Donald Trump opens up visas for all Indians, 60% of the population will swim across the oceans and get to America.
All these things are a clear statement in this direction. People are looking for economic well-being.
United States of America has acquired leadership position in the world. See, if you here wear these blue trousers, half the world, without knowing why, they're also wearing blue trousers. If you tear your trousers, half the world is tearing up their trousers. I'm watching this with great interest. Now the entire world is looking up to you. Is it not important that we fix ourselves and set the right example for the world? Today I'm telling you, in the rest of the world, for a whole lot of youth in the world, America means free-flowing alcohol. America means drugs on the street. America means living a freaky life. America means war. We must change this. America means healthful living. America means joyful living. America means responsible behavior. America means a great life. Participating in the democratic process is not politics. It is the fundamental responsibility of being citizens of a nation. Democracy means, in Indian languages, in Tamil for example, it is called Jananayakam. That means it's the leadership of the people. Well, in this country, they have told you of the people, by the people, whatever. Yes, it is leadership of the people. We are not electing one person, we are asking one person to represent us, yes?
People are always counting. Before elections, they are making a list of en masse voting. Which are the blocks of people that we can make them feel discriminated, we can make them feel insecure, we can make them feel threatened in some way, so that they will vote not as individuals, but as communities. Unfortunately, similar language has been evolving in United States as it has been in India in the past. But you have to give it to the intelligence of the common voters that they defeat this once in a way. That is, we must understand that democracy means the rule of majority. Rule of majority does not mean crushing the minorities. Rule of majority means you don't divide people on the basis of their beliefs or their color or their creed or whatever other basis you find. When people vote as individuals, only then there is a true democracy. Otherwise, we are practicing feudalism through the drama of democracy.
The question is not whether you elect this person or that person. Are they willing to make this commitment that we will not open up another theater of war? There are other ways of handling problems, because even if you enter with your weaponry, with good intentions, the result that happens is neither good for you nor for anybody, it's just going on. I'm saying with the expertise of business, technology, engineering and schools that you have built here, you can go build across the world and make a business out of it too. Not all of it is charity. If we develop a humanity with a certain skill and talent and gratitude, the nation is made in future, isn't it? Now you're trying to put up cyber walls. What is needed is not cyber walls, we have to use our cerebral material to connect with the rest of the world and make the world ours, not by conquest but by love, by inclusion, by embrace. Please ask your leaders if they can do it. The first and foremost thing is, no new theaters of war must be opened. We have seen in our own lifetime. It's not history book that we are reading. World War I happened, World War II happened, so many millions of people died. Any sensible human being, I've always wondered, how did the people let it happen in those times? Not one or two, 30 million people, 50 million people dying, how did they let it happen? But well, in our own time it's happening, yes? In our own times, in 21st century it's happening. Is it not time? When the time to vote comes, this is what it means. You are voting either for the well-being of the world or out of your fear, some nonsense. So the question is not whom you elect, you can elect whoever you want. Above all, democracy is a functional democracy only when you don't behave like tribes. When I say don't behave like tribes, I'm amazed. I'm just watching the language on the news channels. You're either a Democrat or a Republican. You already decided without consideration. Democracy will be a democracy only when it is a considered vote, not when it's a committed vote. You're pre-committed. This means you're going back to tribal days, you're going back to feudal ways of living through democratic process. Democratic process has to be successful means just a day before the election, here seeing what all they're promising, will they do this or not? You must make up your mind as an individual, not as a Democrat, not as a Republican, because that means you're destroying democracy and going back to tribal ways of functioning. Anyway, I am this, I'll vote for this. No, it must be a considered vote. It should never be a committed vote, and all of them who stand up for elections must know that this is a considered vote. They're going to consider. It's not a committed vote. Anyway, there are blue states and red states, I'm amazed. There should be nobody blue or red till that day comes.
The world is moving in this direction, that the people of the world are rejecting paraphernalia of ideologies which don't work, decorative statements which mean nothing to nobody, high-flung language but not good literature, which doesn't make one's life. The people of the world are rejecting this. I think the previous elections in India, the Brexit, they're not interested in effusive statements of correctness. The world is moving from very fancy nuances to simply practical way of doing things. In this effort, it is important, or in this movement of things that are naturally happening, it is important that certain probity is brought, that individual people who get to the helm of nations must maintain a very high level of integrity. As I've said during my tour in America, during this inner engineering book tour repeatedly, unfortunately, for a whole lot of people around the world, for a whole lot of people, not just in Middle East, for a lot of people, America means source of war. I think it's time America as a nation changes this image and creates an image that America means wealth, America means well-being, America means an ideal way of living. Above all, America means help to everybody, because if you don't teach everybody around the world how to generate wealth, we will not live in a wealthy world. Why is it important to live in a wealthy world? It is just that if you alone become wealthy, naturally people will keep sniping at you. Those who have nothing to lose and on the street will naturally throw stones at people who are living in expensive glass homes. It's best that your neighbor also has a good home. It's very important. If you generate wealth across the world, this is also an insurance that you will live well, everybody will live well. Otherwise, the way technology is evolving, just a small nation with certain capabilities can derail the process of administration, businesses, banks, everything with a certain skill. Slowly we're realizing this. It's unfortunate that major nations today are talking about, if you disrupt our cyberspace, we will disrupt your cyberspace. This is not where it should be going. Where it should be going is, you will not want to disrupt because you also have something worthwhile. If you have nothing worthwhile, only then you get these ideas that I want to disrupt you. If you also have something worthwhile, you don't want to disrupt anybody because you know you also have something to lose. So let's create a world. Let America and the new leadership in America focus on creating a world which is well. When people are well, they value their well-being. They wouldn't want their well-being to be disrupted in any way. It was beautiful to watch how whatever the acrimony, the bitterness that we have seen in the last 12 months, yesterday came to a culmination with utmost graciousness from both sides. However painful or bitter one may be, but being able to conduct themselves with a certain amount of graciousness is most welcome, and it's truly fantastic that both sides behave that way, and this is where democracy matters. That never before in the history of this world, before democracies got established, has it happened that transfer of power happened without blood spilling. Never before it happened. This is the most beautiful aspect of democracy, that doesn't matter. There is a time to fight and there is a time to work together. It needs there's something spiritual about this, I'm saying. The acrimony and bitterness and the viciousness with which the elections were fought and yesterday's gracious statements are spiritual, I would say. Truly fantastic.